Hi, dear. I have to get into my frame because it takes a lot of energy for me to go on live. Please let me know if you can hear me well. And if you can not hear me, then let me know, and I will take out this the case that I have on this phone. Looking tired, I believe that's what you want to say. Possibly. I was at the gym for like 4 hours. No, 3 hours. So I was fasting all day. It's my second day of fasting. And when I mean fasting, just during the hours of the light, no food or drink, which is not a really big deal for me because throughout the year I kind of intermittent fast. It's a lifestyle of fasting, meaning I've created a lifestyle where I'm not always eating or drinking. I go many hours without any kind of food or drink. So when Ramadan comes, it's like I can supercharge my habits. I can supercharge my transformation. That's what it is, right? Ramadan is a time of transformation. It is said that if a person that ends Ramadan and is the same person has really lost, has lost out on the true meaning and blessings of Ramadan. And it truly does matter what kind of frame you're at. What is your frame? What is your frame? Who is whoever you are, whatever your name is, who is that person? What is the frame? What is the framework of the reality that you are living? Because no one else can live your life for you. No one else can think for you. No one else can have the passions you do. No one else has the vision about themselves. No one else can have a vision for me. No one else can have a vision for you except you. And a lot of people, they haven't really even, they haven't defined themselves yet, actually, because they're afraid to. I was controlled for so long, now I'm awakening and free. Yeah, it's a process, because we are in the flesh, that is the limitation of the illusion, because we are intertwined in the 3D. But the thing is, you're not of the 3D. It is just part of this illusion, and I'm 42 years old, okay, and I was fasting since I can remember as a child. Maybe I was 9, 10 years old when I started fasting. So I remember it used to be in the summertime, and every month it would change, and I remember when it went into summer, it went to fall, winter, spring, summer. I've had like 2 cycles where the Ramadan has totally went from, one season to the next. And I realized that most of my life, Ramadan was like honestly, it was an awesome time where I was looking forward to it. We're looking forward to all the da'wats, all going to all the family friends' houses and the different people. I used to live in Michigan, and there's a large Muslim community. A lot of, my father came here in 1982, and he called the family over in 1983. So I've been here since I was like 4 years old. And Ramadan is all I know. As a Muslim, like that was the most, we were told like, oh, we don't have Christmas, but we have Ramadan. And it's 30 days. And it was just so fun going to the masjid, going to different people's iftar parties, and as a young adult and all that stuff, doing that stuff and looking forward to it. And then as I got older into college, it was like, oh, make sure, you don't have to fast if you have exam the next day and this and that. And I remember people, other friends of the family, their children didn't fast because they had exam, and, all these kind of things about Islam. And then I got into like the lecture circuit, and I started going to all the different lectures, and my personal learning of Islam was a lot more in depth than the average person my age. And the person that was doing it, they had big beards, and they were kind of like groomed into that kind of lifestyle where they went to lectures and whatnot. And here I am, this ex-police officer and this kind of guy that didn't really fit that mold. And I was always interested in these stories. But as I kept on going to the lectures and whatnot, I started to see that there was a part of Islam that was not being taught. Are you practicing Ramadan, sir? What's the be is not drinking water during Ramadan? I'm not. What's the wisdom? I mean, what do you mean? You want a wisdom like spiritual wisdom? Do you want a scientific wisdom? What do you? I mean, I don't know what your question is. So I'll give you the spiritual wisdom. Is the water element is also tied with the water is tied with emotion. Water is an emotional based element. So when you're not drinking water, also you are not you're not governed by your emotions. So you have to control your anger. You have to control all these different elements within you: fire, the earth element, all these different elements within you, without having physical water even to cool you down. So when you're really pissed off, and if you're pissed and you just drink a cup of water and you feel better, you cool off. Well, you don't have that option in Ramadan. So that's the metaphysical understanding. Then this physical understanding, the physiological understanding is that when you're not drinking water and whatnot, I mean you're not gonna die. Even if you you mean like these hand signs, because I'm hemi-syncing the brain. I don't want to see, that's what I'm saying. I don't like going on live because I don't want to answer these questions. You can look it up yourself. Okay, do the research. Be a researcher. Go online and say, what is the hand signs? Then you'll see two different things. You'll see the people that are into like the scare tactics and what have they been told, and oh, it's devil and this and that. Then you'll see another thing. Well, here, there's a science behind it. There's different acupuncture points in the finger. There's different... like when you play an instrument, you're using different parts of the hand. I don't have to answer them, but I'm saying is, it just kind of interrupts my flow because I'm reading it, and I'm reading it, and if I see too many times, I just have to address it. And I just want to explain to you, do your own research. Don't just take the popular culture's opinions for everything that you hear in your life. I appreciate you being here with me. Don't answer the questions. I think it can help a lot of people. Like your explanation, because you never heard anyone else other than traditional sources. See, all the traditional sources, the first, what does it mean traditional? Like the root sources? The first source is your fitra. Okay, you have a fitra within you, base programming that isn't governed by the logic. That base programming is your fitra within you, which is literally programming given to you by the Creator. You have to tap into that. Do you believe Project Blue Bean is going to happen soon? It's already happening. All these things are already happening. It's not happening in the future. Everything is now. Okay? So for you, maybe it's going to happen in the future. For some other people, it's never going to happen. For some people, it's all these different realities are in the now. It's a certain dimension. You know? Why don't you like answering questions? Why do you like to argue all the time? See, because I can tell by the mindset, just by you asking that question, it's a very easy question to answer if you do your own research. I'm not going to repeat myself, exactly. I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not here to entertain, why do I do hand signs? Why do I have a goat on my TikToks? You know, these things are very, you can do your own research on it, okay? I'm not here to offend anybody either, but if you get offended, that's not on me, you know? It's not on my consciousness if somebody else gets offended by, I can't be the guardian of your own triggerability, your triggers. That's not my problem. How can I make me relax? Ramadan Transformation. I'm just doing my own thing. What inspired me to make my first TikTok? I'll answer that question because I was kind of inspired, to be honest with you. Because, I'll tell you what it was. I have a friend, right? Okay, here's a story time, right? I have a friend. When I first moved to California in 2005, I met a bunch of Desi people at the gym, and one of them was like he was made fun of in the group, this is how it is in our Desi community, right? You have a group of friends and there's like a hierarchy. There's the one that's wealthy. There's the one that's, Mr. GQ. Here's the one that is like the wild one. Here's the one that's the weird one. That was me, right? The one that's like kind of like wild. And here's a pretty boy one. And here's this one. And I was always, people try to put me in a box, but I could never be in a box because that's how I am. I cannot conform to certain things. Okay, so there's one person in the group. He was the one that was like made fun of the most. He was clowned on because he had like a ricer, you know what I mean? And he was like this Pakistani guy that was like, the thing was he had a pretty girlfriend, and everybody clowned on him, but he was the one that got the girls and stuff, but he was like always not with money and all this kind of stuff. And he had this girlfriend at the time, and he was like managing like a hookah restaurant, right? He was managing a hookah restaurant that his friends in the group of friends, they both owned it, right? And he was the one that's like, he was working like all the time, all the time. Without him, the business would be dead. And this guy had a girlfriend who she had Instagram at the time, and she told me to get on Instagram. And I lived in India in 1988. I lived in India from 1979 when I was born to 1983 when I went to the United States. Okay, let me just end this. Let me just tell you the story because you can really kind of visualize the story because a lot of you are in the same situation where you can relate to these kind of stories because so this friend was like made fun of and whatnot, and he had a girlfriend that was kind of like, she was like kind of keeping him in check, and kind of leveling him up, and she was way over his she was way over his league, you know what I mean? But somehow he made it work. She had an Instagram account. She had like 10,000 followers. And then in the course of like a couple of years since I knew them, she gained like about 200,000 followers. And then that's when I started going on Instagram. And long story short, she has like 1.5 million Instagram followers and I don't know, a couple million TikTok followers. And when she told me when he told me about a year and a half ago, hey, go on TikTok and get on TikTok and do your thing, and I was like, oh man, I don't have time for that. I don't understand it. Blah blah blah. You know, I made all these excuses, and then finally, a few months ago, I was like, you know what? I was doing my spiritual development, and I was understanding like the 5 dimensions and the what's the 5th dimension and the 4th dimension and 3rd dimension, and what is the internet? You know, what is 5G? You know, it tries to replicate 5D. So what you have to do is I started doing a lot of quantum physics, and I understood that when I do rituals in the physical and I put it out in the 5D, or as close as I can to the 5th dimension, the closer the ritual can basically do what it's supposed to do, which is harness energy. You know, that's what a ritual is. Like any kind of ritual you do is the exchange of energy. So even when you make wudu, you're doing a ritual because it is a physical act that connects you to the 5th dimensional meaning behind that physical act. So when you're making wudu and you're doing your hands 3 times and your wrist and this and that and your mouth and your eyes and your up to your neck and your foot, you are doing a ritual where you're purifying everything that your hand touched, that your mouth said. You know, you're doing all these things. It's a metaphysical ritual, literally a ritual, because you are whispering certain things also. So, but the ritual is not only wudu. Everything you do in life is a ritual because everything you do has an exchange of energy. Everything is a ritual. That's what I'm saying. Once I started to understand that every single thing you do is a ritual, then I started to ritualize everything I did instead of just doing it because, we just go in there and we're hungry, we eat food. That's a ritual. But if you don't understand it consciously and you let your subconscious just lead the way without understanding the psychology of the human, you know, your different energies and how do you balance them, and then how the average person is led by their emotions and their fears and whatnot. All this stuff is really, it really takes you to the next level. And Ramadan is an awesome time to kind of start to do certain rituals that are aligned to your goals in life. Have you benefited immensely from... Oh, really? Well, it's an exchange of energy. You know, whatever you give, that's what you're gonna get. I had the black cube represents Saturn. Yes, I know. Chronos, Saturn. Well, see, the Chronos, doesn't represent Saturn or Chronos because it represents not being in the under the control of that Saturn Chronos energy, because it's not Chronos because you go counterclockwise, and the clockwise is clockwise, right? But then what is outside of, what have they built in 2018 outside of the Kaaba? It's a big clock tower that is boasted by Muslims. Oh my God, we have the tallest clock tower in the world, and they're so proud of this. But that, because they're under the structure of Saturn. That's why they're looking at it and they're admiring it and so, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, look at us. We're so advanced in the Arab world. You know, the Muslims are so advanced now, they have this building. But they're actually making Chronos on top, which is clockwise. I mean, that's what my understanding is. Well, walking around the cube counterclockwise 7 times is a ritual to connect you with the deeper meaning of what it means. Because, Saturn, the planet, on the north node has a hexagonal formation, which the scientists and the different astronomers say it is a storm that is on the north end of Saturn, and it's literally like a hexagon. And what is a hexagon? Hexagon is the structure of the carbon-based life form that we are in this dunya. This dunya has a structure, and the structure is the hexagon. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that it's evil or Saturn is evil. No, you have to understand what it means. Now, if you are underneath this, if you're in the structure, then you are trapped in the structure. You have to go outside the structure. But to go outside of it, you have to be in it. To go outside of it, and then kind of like you have to know what it is, you know. Well, again, that is a kneeing towards the Kaaba. In America, it's northeast, and north in the occult, in the metaphysical, is the higher mind, and east is the heart, and west is the nervous system. Which, with the nervous system, you have to understand the nervous system is there to have the five senses. That is the five senses. You know, touch, feel. You know, touch, taste, sound, smell, and sight. But in different cultures, for example, even in the Arabian cultures, in Islamic culture in the past, taste, smell, and hearing, that was all one sense. And that was because, you know, the frequencies are touched by your tongue, and when you smell something, it's touched by your nerves in your nose, and then your eardrums are touched by the sound wave. You know, is this big question in quantum physics, is the time continuous or in packs? Well, see, the thing is, when I got into quantum physics, I because I was trapped in these other things, like other dimensions, where I was trapped into conspiracy theories. I was trapped into, you know, group movements, and then I went outside that trapping, where I wasn't trapped in those anymore. When I got into quantum physics, I recognized all these different arguments, like, oh, is the world like this, or is it like this, is it like that? It's like it is what you collapse in your mind. That's what it is. Now, you can understand these different concepts, but you have to choose a framework of the quantum, and stick to that. And then once you stick to it, you will understand the other realms and the different ways the energy comes down, you know, because everything is from Allah, right? Nothing is from me. It's all from the divine. It's all from the divine. But it's like you have to, down here, make yourself into a vessel that can handle that kind of energy. The eighth dimensional is the octagon. Octagon is also like, you know, represents Jupiter, and Jupiter is expansion, and Saturn is contraction. So it's like breathing. When you breathe in, you are expanding, right? You're expanding because you're breathing in the oxygen, and it's expanding. And then when you breathe out, you're contracting because your lungs are contracting, and then it's a movement, you know. Expansion, contraction, creation, death, It's all these cycles within you. And the Quran is a channeled book. It's a channeled frequency from a higher dimension. So the Prophet had to purify the heart, purify the self, contemplate. That's why he meditated and went in the cave and all these kind of things and all this stuff. You know, it's a metaphysical story. And the thing is, in your DNA is every single human that ever existed. So you tap into those aspects of your DNA and kind of like climb that ladder, you know, Jacob's ladder from living down here, you know, living from like down here where your food and your security and like your emotions are all that matter. And then you lived in a higher purpose. You start to ascend. You have to start to ascend. You have to raise your child up heal the inner child, and then raise it up into, the trick is into whatever form you want. It's a shame true religion was manipulated. Yeah. People need to read the Quran. They have to be the Quran, not read the Quran. They have to become the Quran, not just read it like it's some thing outside themselves. You know, it is a channeled work, channeled by a human. How about when I do prayer and I say, and I do the attayat, and I do this? You shouldn't be on here. If I'm not your bro, then you shouldn't be on here. Recommendations for growth, hair growth. Don't go to the barber. Don't get it cut. I get it trimmed. Maybe every in the past year. In the past year, I have not got it trimmed. So a few weeks ago, actually, I was trying to make an appointment with a brother that used to cut my hair about 2 years ago, and I noticed he wasn't really replying back to me, even though I saw his updates on his haircuts. So, I'm not going to I'm not going to chase after him to, hey, cut my hair. It's like, you know what? I see it as a sign that it's not time to cut my hair. I was going to trim it. So maybe, inshallah, I'll go, maybe in Ramadan, and Eid, after Ramadan, I'll go and get half an inch, maybe like a centimeter or two taken off, just so I can kind of help repair the hair. But I just don't cut I just haven't cut it, in over 18 months. That's what I can recommend. Your kids are most... Stop throwing Naturo signs. Your kids are most embarrassed of you. Do you believe in the Prophet Muhammad? S-W-A? S-A-W? What does fasting do spiritually? You purify yourself, right? You purify yourself through the different disciplines that you have to cultivate. The hunger, the physical hunger, then the reactive mindset. When you're hungry, you're getting more irritated, and if somebody pisses you off and you get pissed off, then technically you broke your fast. If you get angry and whatnot, so we're given different techniques and different methods to purify the heart. And that's one of the reasons is purification of the heart. Become more detached to the things you're used to, the body, the beast part of you, the dunya part of you, which is the body, the carbon, is used to eating even if it ate 3 hours ago and it's eating again. It's like, when was the last time you didn't eat for 24 hours? You're not going to die. You can live like 3 days, 4 days without water. There's cases people lived a lot longer than that. And in most time, anybody that's on this app, they have not been that long without water. So it's a discipline, I'm just telling you, there's so many benefits to it. Is that demonic too? To take my tongue out? Do not come across saying the Prophet's name and using it as an example. That's just curious. Right. Oh, I've not come across you saying the Prophet's name or using him as an example. Well, you haven't watched all my videos and haven't done the research then. You know, that's another thing. People use these different names, though they say the Prophet's name and they give you these trigger words and they say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and Inshallah, brothers and sisters, and then that hooks you, and then you just listen to them just because they're saying these words. You're on my FY page. Oh, for you page. Best wishes. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I mean everything is for a reason. You know, nothing happens just because it's just random. You're seeing me on your For You page because that's what your higher mind has, in the fifth dimension, put in the 5D. You know what I'm saying? The highest dimension in this physical is actually the cloud, which is not really a cloud. It's actually servers. It's not in the cloud. You know what I mean? It's just in servers. But the thing is, the dunya is going to trick you into thinking it's something that's higher. You know, like, oh, it's in the cloud. It's just out in this here. You know, no, it's actually being transmitted into the air, but it's from a source that is in the physical, you know. The dunya, the devil, the illusion, is always going to try to replicate the higher dimensional things, which is from the divine, and it can't. You know, it's going to try to replicate plant life and whatnot. It can't. Whatever the physical, whatever the human does in the physical is always going to be artificial, and it's going to be a frequency that is lower than the frequency of nature, which was created by the divine. And we think we can manipulate nature. You know, scientists and whatnot think they can manipulate nature and make something better than nature. They can't. They can't. Absolutely not. Okay, I'm going to read some of these comments. You guys talking about pizza. I was surprised how addictive cheese is. Nothing is coincidence. Watch your videos. Just curious, like your zikr. Just curious about what else do you believe in? Well, I mean, I was talking about the frame. Maintain your frame. My frame is, I'm a Muslim. Okay, Muslim has certain meanings to it. Somebody that has submitted to Islam, somebody that has submitted to their will, which is the physical ego will, to the will of the Creator. But how do you know what you're giving it? How do you know you're aligning your will to the will of the Creator? That is the part that you have to do your own. You have to do your purifications, and you have to do your own contemplation, so you understand that how you're being tricked and how the human psyche has been manipulated. AP astral projection, yeah. In the beginning of my journey, I was like, oh, I want to astral project, and okay, so I would go to sleep and I would drink certain teas, and so I can have these lucid dreams and whatnot. And it just, I realized after a while that was just my my ego wanted to experience these things. Once I let that go and be like, no, it doesn't really matter. You know, the thing is to what am I doing in my life that is getting me to closer to accomplishing all my goals. And my goals are personally at a very high level where, you know, that everything that is on that path, you know, it becomes something I love. You know, so it's not the destination only, it's the journey too. And the journey is, part of the journey is, you know, having to have self-discipline, doing the things you don't like to do, you know, eating the foods, or doing the things that you're not physically comfortable doing. In simple words, what do the hand signs do and a person if they started? Hemisync your two brain hemispheres. That is just one simple thing I can talk about. The true brain hemispheres, your left brain, which controls the right side of your body, which is the left brain is the masculine brain, which is about authority. It's linear thinking. It's linear, right? So it only thinks about the linear things, what it can touch, feel, sense, all that kind of stuff. And then your right brain, which is the feminine mind, is your feminine mind, which is the non-linear mind. It's the imagination. It is the higher thought. It is the emotions and whatnot. And you have to hemi-sync those two sides. And then hand mudras do that, because this is my left hand and this is my right hand. It's inverted in the camera, so I'm just telling you, this is my left hand, this is my right hand. And when I touch the two different fingers and the different parts, I do dhikr. So Bismillah, 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 Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, and different brain. And it's like a dance your two brain hemispheres are doing together. It's like the masculine and the feminine, they're dancing. And it's like, it's affecting different parts of the psyche, different parts of the nervous system is hooked up to your hand. And then in more spiritual sense, it's the different aspects of the different planets that have to do with the archetype of the psychology of the human. I hope that made sense. But I can talk hours about it. And the thing is, even if you do it, just the simple things, and just do it, just do it, and just have fun with it. Just play a game. No one has to watch. You don't have to do it online and show everybody. Just do it yourself. And if it helps you concentrate, if it makes you feel better, then how can that be haram? How can that be against Islam? I don't, that's ridiculous. How is doing dhikr and playing with your hands haram? So you use your fitrah when you get into those. It's not. If a group of people, groups have what they call is like a egregore, has like a frequency, and it's being controlled by certain things, groups. Nothing, you cannot ascend in a group way. This is not this is the age of Aquarius, the age of Pisces, the two fish and whatnot. That's the age of like institutions and groups and this and that. You get the strength, then you have to move on. You know what I mean? You are in the group, you get the energy, you get the power, you get the knowledge from different people, and you move on. You don't stay in the group. The group will never move up. It will move up very, very, very slowly. And I'm not the kind of person that is waiting around for other people, to give me something. No. You got to make it happen. And the thing is, you don't really make it happen. I can never make anything happen. What you do is you let go of making it happen. And then what happens is the divine, intuition comes to place, and things get presented in front of you, and you have a closer relationship with the divine, meaning you don't get emotional, you don't get angry, you don't, judge people, you don't do all these things, because you're detaching yourself from the physical, and doing that, it gets you closer to the divine. I just said that. You can't make it happen. When I say making it happen, people think, oh, you're going to make it happen, use force. No, it's power. You have to, in the physical, you have to align yourself to be that person that can mentally step up. And it's all in the thought game. What do you think about yourself? And again, what is your frame? What is your framework of what is Allah to you? What is the Creator to you? Is it something outside of you? Is it something that is ready to punish you? Is it something that, what is it? you know? Talk about making your hands bleed. Look at this. See these calluses? That's from doing the monkey bars. And it's like when the pain was coming on to me, you know, when the pain of like holding on, I did the monkey bars like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And it was like maybe like 80 bars, you know, 5 times. And when the pain was coming on after like the 3rd time, I just thought about like, I did the quantum physics. Okay, this is what I did. I tapped into energy that is already within me. Meaning I went inside my mind and I thought of the time when my wife was giving birth to our 2nd daughter, you know, like 4 years ago. And she was in the bathroom and in the room, she didn't have any kind of medical help or anything, medical attention. It was just me and her. And basically, we wanted to wait the last minute to go to the hospital, so she doesn't have to be there like this, you know, the hospital like you do. But we waited too long, and it was happening. And she didn't have any kind of anesthesia, nothing, you know, no medicine, nothing. All I was doing was I was helping with the breathing. I was putting the hot towel on her back, her lower back, and I witnessed everything, you know. And the baby came out, and is like, and she did it without any kind of medical help or medicine at all. And I just start thinking about that. It's like, if she can do that, it's not like, oh, I'm better than her, I can do it. No, it's like me witnessing that was something that Allah allowed me to witness and experience. So whatever I do, you know, what is the monkey bars then, you know? And that's what got, you know, that things like that, stories like that, in my own frame of reference, in my own reality, they help me accomplish things that otherwise my ego would kind of not do, you know? And it's like you have so much power that it's like you don't even know it, you know? Like this one guy, he's like I think like a Navy SEALs guy, black guy that runs a lot, like Richard, like I think his name is Rich Goggins or something like that, or Goggins. He's talking about how like most of the time we think we don't have enough or we can't go on physically, but the truth is you have 40% more potential, and you tap into that. That's how I tap into it, by memory, by evoking memory. You know, and if you don't have any memories, then you have to use your imagination. Okay, use your imagination. If you don't have any experiences like that, doesn't mean you can't get to that level either. You have to have a vivid imagination, and you have to have the empathy, sympathy within you. You know. Like you can, you know, my transformation was in Ramadan, 2015. I lost 40 pounds of fat, and I transformed myself. I wasn't the same person in day 1 than I was at day 30. I couldn't be. And then after Ramadan was over, I still wasn't, I didn't go back into my old habits and become that old version of me, because I knew I didn't want to be that ever again, because that old version of me was depressed. The old version of me was pessimistic, the old version of me was more like judgmental, was more blaming other things, situations. I had a blaming kind of victim mentality, and that Ramadan really, I prayed a lot, and I didn't hang out with anybody. I didn't do the pakoras. I ate very, very healthy. What triggered that transformation? Just a lot of things. I mean, It was a whole bunch of different things. I can't even get into it, but it was just like seeing my life wasn't where I wanted to be. Knowing that how come I don't have, why is this happening to me? I had to take ownership of everything. I had to take ownership that it was because of my laziness. It was because I couldn't do this. It wasn't anybody else except me. And then once I stopped looking for something to save me, same here. How do you overcome that? I overcame it by not, I had problems with my spouse too. She wanted to divorce me many times. Like really seriously. And then the first time it happened, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna stop. But then I realized, no, I'm not gonna stop pursuing knowledge of Allah from the mystical aspect, meaning through experience, not through just the logic, which I told you was left brain. I'm always in downtown LA. Our office is in downtown LA, so I mean, it's great. Any tips on so the wife thing? So the first time it happened, I was kind of shooken. Then the second time, I realized, you know what? I accepted it. It's like, you know what? If you want a divorce, like in my heart, I accepted it, and through my reaction, it was a totally different reaction, and it wasn't my emotions reacting. It was just like, you know what? Fine. I accepted it, and I understand, and I'm willing to. This is how much I have committed myself to shifting my will to the will of the divine, and just being that vessel, that I'm willing to sacrifice whatever the family I have, because there's nothing more important than actually the relationship I have with Allah, and nothing can get in the way of that. And then once I had that frame of mind, things just got easier. And in fact, the family members, from me being like the bottom of the barrel, type of mentality, now to people asking me for advice, and now they're asking me to be the referee because I'm fair and whatnot. So even though, it's like, it's because I changed myself, and through how? Doing the dhikr and really invoking aspects of Allah, because the names of Allah are different codes, breathing techniques, and different archetypes that you have to raise up and ignite from within you, because I don't have the power of beauty. It's not me that's making my skin nice because I'm eating properly. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's all to do with the divine. And when you tap into the energy, the higher frequencies, then your vessel is going to start reflecting that frequency. And what is your vessel now? It's reflecting the frequency you're at now, I do meditate all the time. I mean, I meditate when I'm at the gym. I meditate when I'm in the car. I'm meditating right now even. Because meditating is maintaining a certain frequency. It's not just like you have to meditate so you have to be quiet. It's like meditation is like being in for me, it's being in conscious awareness of the frequency you're at, and maintaining that frequency and that kind of mindset within you. I'm not in a sect. I don't understand what that means. I mean, I'm just doing my own thing. And, it's when you tap into higher frequency, then, actually the dunya is created from that higher frequency. It's not from the lower frequency. This is just the effect realm. So the causality realm is in higher dimensions, and it's all from within. So when you are meditating, you're tapping into, you're like making the journey to higher dimensions. Because to meditate is to like calm yourself down. Then from that calm state, you can go to different dimensions. If that makes sense. Those close to us, lost in frequency, therefore are been labeled and judged. Yeah, also, they're just aspects of you too, because they might be in a certain frequency within themselves where they're trying to hold on to 1985, or they're trying to hold on to certain aspects of them which are scattered throughout their memory, which is part of your memory, your greater memory, you know? So it's kind of complicated. But I mean, the idea is to first have a goal, you know? Have a goal for yourself and make it kind of scary, you know? Like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, you know, it's kind of hard. You know, that's the goal you have to have. Because that part of you that's saying it's hard and you can't do that, that is the illusionary part of you saying that. That only is referencing the dunya, the five senses. I mean, what is Islam? Islam is multiple different religions. It's a bit of Christianity, a bit of Judaism. I mean, Islam comes from Judaism, and Judaism spawned Christianity and Islam. And we do say people of the book and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's books of Prophet Ibrahim, the Sefer Sirah, the Book of Formation. You know, but we've been brainwashed to say that, oh, and all these other books, they're all tainted. So you can't even look at them, you can't even understand them. You can't even see where it's tainted. And then from your mind and your intuition and Allah giving you wisdom, you can't untaint it. You can untaint it in your mind. What time is it? It is, can someone know what time it is? Because if I look at my time, it's going to disrupt the live Pacific Standard Time. I think it's like 12 o'clock, 12:30, maybe. Ramadan is going great, you know? It's going great. Oh, it's 12:35. Okay, subhanAllah. Yeah, it's just a lot of... that's what Ramadan is for, is to transform. It's not to go to the masjid. It's not. It's not to go to the physical masjid, meaning it's not to go to the masjid either. You know, it's like a lot of things. It is a time for transformation. And you can become a new person, a totally different person. One that is more confident in themselves and the relationship they have with Allah, more confident in the fitrah, you know, more confident in their being, more confident in their potential, you know. Best tips on weight loss for Ramadan. Do not eat like a pig. That's one good tip, personally, I've adhered to. Meaning I don't eat, when it's time to break the fast, I'm not just eating all these different foods. I'm drinking water, I'm having dates, and I'm having something light. And I don't like to, I consciously don't spike my insulin level up. So when I have date and water, the next thing I eat is not a fruit, you know? It is something like I'll eat a protein source, and then I might have like a salad with it, you know, and then I'm not eating pastries, I'm not eating the things that spike the insulin level up and down, you know. The whole idea is to maintain that insulin level. so it's not wreaking havoc in your physiological body, which will then manifest into psychological, like you're thinking all these things and you're getting moody and whatnot. I mean, it's really people do the opposite. They gain weight. I mean, I'm not anything different. In the past, I used to gain weight, but amongst the group of friends I had, I was always like getting healthier and healthier in Ramadan, and everybody around me were like, "Oh, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?" And then I realized like what I'm not doing. Here's what I'm not. It's not what I'm doing. It's what I'm not doing. I'm not eating at Denny's, with everybody else. I'm not eating these sahurs that are really fatty and high in salt and all this kind of stuff. My sahur is very simple: water and dates, and maybe a slow carbohydrate. Like steel cut oats. It is so difficult to fast properly. Why not simplify? It's very simple. You eat something in the morning that is beneficial for the body and that will stay in the system as long as possible. And then when you do eat, you eat foods that don't spike your energy levels up. So you're not having like a sweet drinks and whatnot. Dates are they're high in fiber, and they have two different kinds of sugars. They have sucrose, they have fructose and glucose, and they're high in fiber. So yes, they can if you have too many of them. But in general, like it's it's not like a spiking kind of sugar. So it gradually goes up and it tapers off and it goes down. But that's why I drink water with it. Also, dates are very high in potassium, more than bananas, and it hydrates you a lot. It's like natural electrolyte. Brother, what about the people who aren't as knowledgeable? What about them? I mean, you can't worry about them. You're not going to make them believe. Only Allah can do that. You have to do your own thing. And then you unknowingly become a light for other people. That's it. You don't worry about anybody else. I mean, not like, oh, don't worry about them and see, it's not. It's like you cannot worry about them. You can't. It sounds kind of harsh, but it's not in a harsh kind of way, like, oh, screw them. No. It's like, don't get caught up in trying to be a savior to them. Just be an example just by your presence, just by you improving your life and your own situation and circumstances. You will then have more energy to actually do the things that matter, that will help them. Because Allah works, the angels and all that stuff, it works through people. It works through you. You will be an angel to somebody else just by your example. Maybe they'll see you doing something and they're like, wow, I've seen that guy change, and oh, I want to do what he's doing. Oh, I'm going to just, maybe they're not at that point where they're going to come up to you and ask you, oh, please help me. They're just going to look at you from a distance and be like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of that. Well, you know what? I don't like that part of it because it's too scary or creepy or weird, then they won't, but you'll affect them somehow. Trust me. Because it's not you that affects them, it's the light that you are emitting. The more purified you are, the more pure light that you'll be emitting to them. And everybody wants purity. Everybody wants that high energy. So far, I'm very interested in mysticism. Well, you have to understand what is mysticism. Look at the meaning of the word. The actual meaning is like a magi or somebody that is that seeks knowledge of the divine through experience, through the journey, not through the intellect, not just through the mind and reading and whatnot, but actually through experience. And how do you do that? Well, you have to do it through experiencing the different aspects of life, the emotions and not, and then kind of like navigating the different emotions and not letting you tie you down to lower frequencies and, being triggered and whatnot. It's a multi-pronged approach. It's not just one thing. Even though the one or two practices you can set in your life that'll help you, once you master that little habit, then you add another habit to it. And you master that habit, and then you add another habit to it. You master it, and you all of a sudden you have all those different things that you're kind of getting better in all these different aspects of your life. But it starts with one thing, You pray a salah. Okay, you pray your 5 prayers. And then after the 5 prayers, you set another habit. Like, okay, you sit there for 30 seconds, and just kind of be thankful for one thing, or try to be thankful for something, or get your mindset to look at the positive aspects, no matter how bad your day was. And then, have another habit, once that's a habit, and that's something that's habitual, where you don't have to consciously do it, you just do it. You add more and more habits, and it gets, it's like you have foundational habits that you build upon. And then you do that with every part of your life. Like, that's what I did with my life. So even when I eat, I have habits that before I eat, I drink water and I drink lemon and all these things that to the average person, it's like, it's too much work, but I didn't start off like that. I started off with little things and I just added on to it. I see that Sunni Islam does narrow view on variety on consciousness ritual. Yeah, that's true, because it's not Sunni Islam, it's Sunnis that have done it. See, it's not Islam that is violent or this and that, or that is this, that. No, it's the Muslims that are. Because they are claiming to be. Muslims is just somebody that follows Islam, but they're not really, are they really following Islam if they are actually not submitting, but they're submitting to society's whims, they're submitting to other people's criteria, they're submitting to other people's opinions, they're submitting to other people's view on them, So who are you submitting to? Are you submitting to the divine, or are you submitting to something else? There's no two powers. There's only one power. But the more you're separated in the mind, the more you're separated in the physical, the more you're going to be separated from obtaining that energy, the more pure energies of the divine. Not because you can't just call yourself Muslim and this and that. No, you have to actually do the work. It doesn't matter what faith you are. If you're not doing the work, then you're not making yourself a person that can receive that kind of abundance, or that wisdom, or that whatever you're asking for, Do you think human came before Islam? Human. Like I said, Islam means to submit to the divine. That's it. Submit to Allah. Submit your ego. Submit your ego to the infinite, to Allah, to the Creator. So, what do you think? Human aspects before Islam. I don't really understand the question. I'm sorry. Getting tired. I mean, I'm here in California City, and I have this whole house to myself, and it's like my dream or whatever I visioned for myself, has come true in ways that the ego could not ever understand. But it only happened because I let go of how it's supposed to happen. Because the how is supposed to happen, and it's supposed to happen like this, and I'm supposed to do that. That is the ego thinking it knows the way. But when I let go of the how came, the how was presented to me, through inspirations, through different hunches, and through different ways to, intuition and whatnot. We have natural urges that Islam prohibits. I don't think so. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, like, is it a natural urge to have sex? Yes. Does it prohibit it? Not necessarily. It prohibits certain aspects, like through non-marriage or through, like all these different ways. But when you build the discipline and you surpass the beast part of you, the beastly, the 666, when you understand you're not just a carbon being, you're not just led, you're not governed by that carbon aspect of you, then those same urges, you can accomplish those same urges, but through a higher way, like getting married or, having some lawful relationship. Basically, you have to basically tame yourself, the beast part of you. You have to tame it. And even Ramadan is like, for me, it's like 3 stages. It's not, the first 10 days of Ramadan shouldn't be like the next 10 days. And the next 10 days shouldn't be like the previous 10 days. It's like you build up the first 10 days, you're getting your body ready, physically purging those habits, and you're going through those like pains of hunger and whatnot. And like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th day, it's like, okay, you're not really hungry anymore. But then at that state, then the next 10 days, you get ready for what? You get ready for the last 10 days. And woe to the one that does not benefit by the end of the month. Because if they can't do it in this month, then it's going to be very hard for them to do it the rest of the months. Because guess what? That collective mindset of, tawheed and getting close to Allah and like getting in the dhikr mode and the prayer mode, it's not going to be there when, after Ramadan is done. So it's harder for people to tap into that energy. I have gained insight. Thank you. This is like the bed I sleep in. And you can see I take my stuff with me for the week for like 5 days, and I stay here for 5 days. And, I have the master bedroom. And, I don't pay for this place, but it's mine, it's like it's given to me. And alhamdulillah, look at this. Okay, I have a little door here, and I'm gonna go outside and kind of get some fresh air. Inshallah, you can join me. So you open the door here, and see that's the pool. That is the pool. That is the pool. Check it out. Here's the the little TV is here. You know, you got the TV here, inside here, and this little gazebo. Here's the pool. Can you see me? Okay. Here's the pool. So in the morning, before Ramadan, you know, I used to just jump in the pool, and that would be my little Wim Hof kind of method of shocking the body. There's the pool right here. Thank you. And this is where I like look in the stars and kind of just do my dhikr while I'm looking at the stars and just contemplating and thinking, you know, and connecting to Prophet Abraham. Because didn't Prophet Abraham look at stars and contemplate Allah and all that kind of stuff? You can do the same thing too. What's stopping you? You know. Here it is. See, going back in the room. I'm so grateful. See, the management recognized my energy, and they recognized that giving this person these things will actually benefit the company. You know, it benefit me too. And that's how Allah works, through other people, through situations and things. I don't want to see the mess. Get my water. I do everything in ritual form, so even when I drink water, you know, and I don't do it only when I'm here. I do it all the time. So it's like I'm not, you know, if I was doing only things on the camera, then psychologically inside me, I would know that's fake, and I would be self-sabotaging myself. I would be doing myself a disservice by being like fake. My actual occupation is manager of a lab, I guess you can say. I'm a manager by not by title, but by action, I guess. I'm in a certain industry that, that I've been in for a long time. You can call it the pharmaceutical industry. And in that corporation, I fulfill spiritual aspects of it. Meaning I actually meditate. I actually am encouraged to be creative. I'm encouraged to, oh, hey, you need to go there? Okay, you know what, fine. Here's a all-paid trip to that place. And you replenish your mindset, you get aligned, and then you come back and you'll be, that's the kind of person I work at. That's the kind of place I work at. Answer the question, motherfucker. What question? Let's see what question this person has asking. Wait, okay. Oh, a lot of questions. I'm going back up here and seeing. I see that Sunni, okay, Power Habit is a great book. You want to build that? I read that book. Power Habits. Yep, a lot of good books. Psycho-Cybernetics, 48 Laws of Power, 39 Laws of War or something, the Tao Te Ching. There's so many golden books out there. Aspects of human Islam. We have natural urges. Okay, we answered that. I have gained insight. Is Ramadan lower one's stimulation level? Is Ramadan to lower one's stimulation level? I don't get that one. Simulation level. I don't get it. MashaAllah, beautiful house. Thank you. Good morning, my friend. What is your actual occupation? It doesn't really matter. Sometimes I ask myself that too. I don't really have a title. I just get things done, I guess. Answer the question, motherfucker. I don't know what question you want me to answer. Who is that asking me? What is your view on CBD and hallucinogens? I'm for natural things. I'm in that industry, so, it's things that are natural, like in your body you have receptors, which are cannabinoid receptors, and every vertebrae is born with it. And people that do not get those receptors filled in their early stages of life through breastfeeding and different things like that, they are more susceptible to having depression and whatnot, and cannabis and different aspects of cannabis, not just THC, but the CBN, the CBD, the CNA, all these different 400 different cannabinoids receptors are in the human body, and various ones of them are either full or not full enough. And when you take cannabis, or when I took cannabis, it basically filled my receptors up, And it's just very complicated to get into it. There's a physiological aspect, there's a spiritual aspect, and to make it make sense, I have to get into the spiritual aspects of it, which I don't have time for it, Yeah, I don't take it all the time anymore because I don't need to. I've filled those potholes up, and then when the road gets needing for to get it smooth again, then I use it, and it smooths it out again, and it's like I know when to take it, when not to take it. Okay, do you still use? Yeah, I do, but not as often as I used to. I realize that. Even I smoke like a joint, 2 joints a day, and now I just I smoke like maybe a 1 joint will last me like a week, which is I don't know how that happened. All of a sudden, It's just I've been feeling my body. I've been feeling I've been noticing very, very subtle urges and whatnot, and I would realize that I'm not getting these urges anymore, so I don't have to take. How about if I say La ilaha illallah? See, you just committed a sin for yourself by saying, I'm not Muslim, when I just said the Shahada. Very spiritual. Yeah, I mean, to tap into the spiritual aspect of the life is actually the first, the cause. The cause realm, you have cause, then you have effect. And the causality realm is the higher realm, which is in thought. And then from that realm, you have the effect. So everything you do in your own personal life, it's from a thought. And the thought emits an emotion, and the emotion makes you do something. You know, it gives you certain hormones and urges and whatnot, and you do it. And most people are living like that. You know, they just have emotion. They see something and they get emotional, and then they do something out of habit. So I personally, I caught myself. I started going in the thought realm. Like, why am I having that thought? Why am I having this emotion? Oh, it's because of this thought. Or why am I having this thought? Oh, it's because I saw this thing. Okay, so what does that mean? Why is that person, you know, if they call you some name, why is it affecting you? You know, once I understood, like, okay, it's affecting me because, you know, when I was this age, you know, this thing happened and this and that, and like, you know, that's why. Or because I cared about what that person thought, and oh, the person's laughing at me, and I don't want anybody to laugh at me. I want everybody to like me, you know, which is not possible. You can't have everybody like you. If you're trying to get everyone to like you, then guess what? No one's gonna like you. They're just using you because they can read your energy at a subconscious level. They mirror you. They have mirror neurons. People have mirror neurons, and if you're nervous, then mirror. If you're nervous, right, in front of a girl, for example, then your mirror, the female's mirror neurons is going to mirror the nervousness in them, and then two nervous things, it'll come out. You know what I mean? Or like, that's not the best example because two people can be nervous because they like each other also. But I'm saying is like, if you're like shy and like, if you're like really deep inside you're nervous, or you're like going, you know, say you're in a bad neighborhood, right? And you're nervous and and you think you're gonna get robbed and whatnot. That frequency and vibration is gonna be picked up in the mirror neurons of the ones that are trying to harm you or doing whatnot. Have you ever listened to Mufti Abu Layth? That's a very familiar name. Is he from California? Have you ever seen Dhikr from Cape Town, South Africa? I've seen Dhikr. Oh, that's pretty cool. No, I haven't seen Dhikr. I've actually known somebody from Johannesburg. No, not Johannesburg. From Durban, South Africa. I might have seen him. If it's been past like 6-7 years, I have not kept up to date with the circuit of the Muslim speakers. Past like 6 years, I would say. But here in America, I was involved with behind the scenes with many different well-known shayukh, you know. I'm not going to drop any names, but they're very well-known worldwide. And I wasn't, I was part of the inner circle, meaning like, okay, why is this guy always with us? You know, who is this guy that every time Ramadan comes and there's like these sheikhs that come, and this guy is always at the table, you know, with this group of like 5-6 people that are well known, and then the host of those people, and then another friend, and then there's me. You know, it's like, who's this guy, and why is he like not? You know, it was really interesting. I got to be like a fly in conversations with big time scholars. Google him. I'll check him out. Non-traditional, modern, and very catchy, non-indigenous looking Mufti speaks truth. Why aren't you fasting? I am fasting. Well, I'm not fasting right now because it's not time to fast. How's your Ramadan? It's going good. Oh, what's up, man? Amar. Yeah, it's going great. I went to the gym, like at 8:30. And when I say I went to the gym, I had to drive 45 miles to the gym because it's 45 miles away from here. I live in California City during Monday through like Friday and sometimes over the weekend. And so like so I went to the gym today. I'm not going to go tomorrow, Friday. And then Saturday, I'm going to go back to Corona. And then after iftar at my dad's house, I'm going to go to the gym in Crunch Fitness, which is like literally across the street from where I live. And then Sunday night, after iftar, I'm gonna come back to California City, and then maybe on Monday or Tuesday, I'm gonna go back to the gym in Lancaster, which is 45 minutes away. So it's even going to the gym was like, in the beginning, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go, it's too far. But I'm like, you know what? I made myself go, and it was like the times when I go to the gym, when I don't want to go to the gym, or when I do something which I know it's good for me to do, and I don't want to do it because it's like inconvenience or I'm really far away, and I do it anyways, that's when I have breakthroughs. Like this gym today session was a breakthrough session. Meaning I went past my personal records of the monkey bar, of the different yogic things I did, and the different like ways I've kind of had a moment of bliss. You know, it happens when the ego, when the nafs does not want to do it because it's difficult, but does it anyways. That's when I have the most, the biggest breakthroughs. So yeah, I'm gonna go on Saturday to the gym after iftar, and then I'm gonna go on Monday or Tuesday, and then Thursday, and then I'm gonna do it like 3 days a week, inshallah. That being said, it's like what I ate was I had a 6-inch Subway sandwich, which is, living here, I don't have the best food options because it's the middle of nowhere. It's like a food desert. And so Subway is like the only option, the healthiest option I have. So I had a tuna melt, with some vegetables and whatnot. And that's what I had for iftar. So I broke my fast. I drove to California City. By the time I got to the gym, I was well digested. And then I hit the gym at 8:30, and I got out of the gym at 10:30. Or 11, was it? Yeah, and I got here 11:45. And then I'm like, you know what? I said to myself, I'm going to go online at 11:33. And it was like 11:35 when I went online. So I didn't want to make myself a liar, So I said I would, and I did. And now that I've been alive for a couple hours now, I'm going to say goodnight to everyone and, take it one day at a time and enjoy it. Enjoy Ramadan, enjoy it. Enjoy learning something that you didn't know before that takes you closer to your goal. Enjoy discipline. Enjoy the leveling up. Enjoy sacrificing. Like, that's the thing. To get a certain kind of physical body that you want, you have to sacrifice things. To become a confident person that you never were, or to have more confidence than you were before, you have to sacrifice the parts of you that was not the confident part of you, right? It's about that. It's not, sacrifice is not only, you gotta sacrifice your time and this and that. No, it's a lot of things. And you gotta just enjoy the process, because it's not just about the destination, it's the journey too. Because some people never get to the destination because they die or something happens or they change, but it's the journey that matters, because the journey is in the now. And if you're more in the now, if you're more present in the now, then you can be aware of what things, what reactions, what things to focus on that get you closer to the destination, that align you with the destination. And that's only in the journey. If you can't enjoy the journey and you're just looking at the destination and you're hating the journey, then you're never going to achieve the destination. And when you do achieve the destination, it was all done for the wrong reason. And you'll soon realize that it's not fulfilling you. So enjoy the journey. Okay? Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I will see you, inshallah, maybe tomorrow night. Friday night, I'm going to be here. Yeah, so maybe I'll come online tomorrow night. Okay, maybe when I come on Saturday night, I won't be here. I'll be back in Corona. Okay, so until next time, assalamu alaikum. It was great having you. And just follow your heart. It knows the way. End quote. That was a quote by Rumi. Okay, assalamu alaikum.